Hello and welcome. On Saturday, the 7th of October 2023, the Palestinian rebel force Hamas launched a surprise massive attack against the State of Israel, inflicting many casualties. An event that took the entire world and the State of Israel by surprise. This event, of course, has been faced by a massive retaliatory effort by the State of Israel against the Palestinian populated area of the Gaza Strip. In order for us to understand the reason for this event happening, we have to understand the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been going on for at least 100 years. The State of Israel, or the Zionist state, is a settler colonial state that was established by force over historic Palestine in early 20th century and through the support of Western superpowers. It is a state that is committed to a systematic plan of ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people and replacing them by migrants from all around the world. It is a state that has no fixed borders and stands on no moral principles, to be frank. The first European or Western political leader to have thought of building a Jewish settlement on the land of Palestine was the French leader Napoleon Bonaparte. He published a plea to the Jewish people of France to migrate to Palestine in late 18th century, around 1799 to be exact. He published his plea in a Parisian newspaper. In the 18th century, following the decline of the French Empire or state for the favor of the British Empire, the British adopted the same premise or the same plan. And the reason for this plan or project being so attractive is that because building a Jewish settlement in the land of Palestine, and where the Jewish people have been allies or friends of the European empires, such settlement would help them in their mission or their project in the Middle East and their expansion against the Ottoman Empire, who was controlling this land at the time. A major breakthrough started to happen in the late 19th century and the early 20th century. A stronger movement, political movement, started to work on organizing and building a state on the land of Palestine. This movement is the World Zionist Organization, headed of course by an Austrian journalist named Theodor Herzl, who published his book The Jewish State in 1894. He's considered the father of the Jewish state. Following that, in the early 20th century, the Israelis started systematically buying land in the area of Palestine and displacing Palestinian villagers. A major breakthrough, the next one that happened, was in 1947. The United Nations issued a partition plan that gave around 55 to 60% of the land to the Jewish people and 45% to the Palestinians. The Palestinians, of course, felt Palestinians who were the majority of the people in the land felt they were mistreated. And so they launched a multinational Arab revolt against the Israelis in 1948. But the Israelis were better equipped and better prepared for that conflict and ended up winning the conflict and gaining even more land in what is called today the Nakba. During that war, a major event happened that made this conflict so intractable and hard to solve. A major event was that a large number of Palestinians, due to their loss of the war, they became refugees. They were displaced out of their land or even killed. Around 700,000 Palestinians were displaced from their land and became refugees in neighboring countries, including Lebanon. 20 years passed to another pivotal point in 1967. Israel launched a surprise attack and took the entire land of Palestine and extra land from Lebanon and the Golan Heights in Syria and the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt. Of course, the Egyptians reorganized themselves 6 years later and launched a massive attack in the 1973 war. And after political negotiations based on the results of that war, they were able to regain the Sinai Peninsula. Since 1967, the State of Israel has complete security control over the land of Palestine, including the areas where the Palestinians reside. Since that, the State of Israel has systematically opened an immigration program that attracts thousands of Jewish and non-Jewish people from the Western world, from Africa, to come and reside in the Palestinian occupied land, in the West Bank. The reason for the systematic plan is to make the possibility or the plan or the option for a Palestinian state in the future practically impossible. The Palestinian people currently live in pockets, in small cities, surrounded from all directions by Israeli settlements or villages, all designed to deny the Palestinians the right to form an independent state in the future. In 1993, another major milestone, and it was called the Oslo Accords. The Palestinian people recognized the State of Israel as an independent state, expecting in return for the Israelis to do the same. But the Israelis did not. The Israelis only gave the Palestinians autonomous governance over their land. And since that time, the Palestinians have been calling and attempting to form their independent state without the international community recognizing their right. The Palestinian people has grown very frustrated, feeling that there is a double standard in treating them, feeling that they are mistreated, they are left without an independent sovereign country, and quite frankly without dignity. That's why you see them recognized in rebel groups, launching attack after attack from yearly basis, from time to time, against the Israeli state, of which this latest conflict has begun on the 7th of October.